Good morning, everyone. Good morning and happy Friday to you. It sure is a beautiful day, and I have a great show for you today. And as a program note, remember that Table Talk with Brenda Perryman comes on directly after the Brenda Perryman show today and every Friday. And we have a lot to discuss because last week we didn't finish discussing everything. So we have some of those things to discuss, and we also have some new topics to discuss. So stay with us for a couple of hours. And I am so excited about my show today. On my second segment, I have Tanisha Johnson, who is a best-selling editor, and she's going to tell you how to write your story, your book. And we also have, in my very first interview today, I have some brave men in blue. I get blue or black? Blue. It's a very dark blue, though, everyone. And I have members of the Highland Park Fire Department. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, it's so great to have you on. You know, I had been kind of following you on Facebook and some of your exploits and your pictures and stuff like that. But that day I saw the little blurb on Good Morning America, I sat there watching that, and I was at my computer, and I said, God, I'd like to have them on my show. And not 5 minutes later, I got an inbox saying, can we be on your show? I said, oh, I knew you all were my men. Mm-hmm. So how you doing?
We're doing great today.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
thank you.
Great.
And we're going to straighten your mic so you can, well, no, put your mic, yeah, talk into it. Right. Now, you all, well, first let me find out a little about you two. Damien, you're from Alabama, right?
Yeah, born and raised in Birmingham, Alabama.
Birmingham, Alabama. How many of you have people in Birmingham? All of us. And Frederick, what about you?
Born and raised in Detroit.
Oh, where'd you go to high school?
Detroit Finney.
You went to Finney?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm very familiar with Finney. I mean, I took my students when I was teaching. I took them over there to do a play. That was a big auditorium.
Yes.
I remember.
Yes.
I remember, very big auditorium. Mm-hmm. And so, what made you decide to become a firefighter?
I was about 5 years old, and my next door neighbor's home caught fire.
And you put it out?
No, ma'am. No, not at all. Almost. But my family were watching TV. My dad, he always knew that I wanted to be a firefighter, and so he bought me the plastic helmet, firefighter's helmet. And again, my neighbor's home caught fire, and so I got dressed up with Detroit Fire Department, and had on my raincoat, my boots, and helmet, and I went next door. My mom would have to tell the rest of the story, and she would say there was a knock on the door, and she opened the door, and there was a Detroit firefighter, a couple of Detroit firefighters with me, and said, how old is your son? Says, he's 5. So we'll bring him back in about 13, 14 years. And ever since then, I've been hooked. That was in 1970.
Wow, what? Had you seen a firefighter before? A firefighter, had they talked to you before or something?
No, it's just, the fire station's right down the street from where I lived, and it was constantly running.
Oh, okay.
And, the lights and the siren and the gear that they wear, the helmets, you just get caught into it.
Because I find whenever children listen to firefighters speak, oh, I want to be a fireman. Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, I never did. Now, Damien, what about yourself? Because you seem to have an interesting road here.
My mother, she actually raised me to be a firefighter. Yes. She had a infatuation with fire trucks and firefighter herself. So, and it's funny part about it, when I graduated from the fire academy, she said, if I had known you grew up to be what I wanted you to be, I'd have made you a doctor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, my mother, she used to buy me fire trucks. She used to always take me to the fire stations. And, I guess since I came out the womb, I was born to be a firefighter. She always had things about fire trucks and firefighters. So
now we have some firefighters in the studio. And how long did you guys want to be firefighters? Just say it. Wow.
I mean, that's one thing that you ask any firefighter that really loves the job, you will not get a different answer. It was going to be one universal answer. Everybody always wanted to be a firefighter. You don't grow up and decide once you graduate from high school, like, hey, I want to be a firefighter. Firefighting is something that you always wanted to do since you were a child.
Well, I guess you've been brave all your life because firefighting that has to be the bravest of them all.
I mean, I will say so because the thing is, when you go to a house fire, it's not like in the movies. When you go to a house fire, you see it on the movies. It's all clear and just fire everywhere. It's so dark that you couldn't see your hand a couple of inches from your face. And only thing you have to use is your vision of feel and your vision of hearing to actually find the fire. Because I mean, smoke is thick and dark, and none of us can see through smoke. So it's really just a line of your training intuition to find the fire and rescue people that's inside the house.
Well, Nightline on ABC did an expose on the Highland Park Fire Department.
Yes,
How did this happen?
Basically, from the Facebook page, and we had a firefighter by the name of Scott Ziegler who was controlled the Highland Park Facebook page, and he also had a bunch of helmet cams that he used to use at the fires, and he recorded a video called "A Year on My Lid," and he put it on YouTube, and it went viral, had over 1 million hits, and then all the local TV stations and started picking up on it, and then the Highland Park webpage became more viral. We have followers from Australia, Indonesia, China that want to come at you from their country over here just to ride with us.
Fabulous, fabulous. So didn't Dan, what's his name? Dan, the guy from ABC?
I can't remember his name, but because I wasn't working I was on vacation during the time they came here, but yeah, in fact, it was ABC Nightline, Good Morning America, and one more show that did it. It was three national televised shows. Oh, I'm sorry, the Anderson Cooper and I can't remember her name. I want to say Diane Sawyer show.
Wow, that's a lot. Fred, were you here?
No, ma'am, I wasn't hired at the time. I've been working in the city of Highland Park for probably 2 months now.
Now, had you been a firefighter somewhere else?
Yes, ma'am. I worked part-time in the city of Utica.
Oh, Utica.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So you just were a firefighter wherever you could find firefighting, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
But he's been wanting to be a Highland Park firefighter for a very long time.
For a very long time. I've been applying for the last 7 or 8 years.
Well, let's talk about some of the things that are involved with you all personally, because they brought up the fact that you didn't have much medical insurance.
Well, in the field, if you go to any city, and Highland Park is not the only one that's going through a problem now. Detroit going through it, even the suburban cities going through it. Where the public safety workers, police, fire, and EMS workers, we're basically being treated like third-class citizens. They want us to go out there and risk our lives, but they don't want to pay us like athletes, but we'll. Person don't become a firefighter for the money. We already know coming to this job, you're not gonna make enough money.
You don't have to tell me. I was a teacher.
Yeah.
So you have to love it.
But
right.
we have to love it. But the main thing you want to be concerned is something happens to you, and you want to make sure that your family and yourself is taken care of, with medical insurance. And that's the main thing that's really been a hit on everybody, is that the medical insurance is not is getting taken off the table, basically, it seems like.
I just don't understand that. What happens if you get hurt on the job?
I mean, for most of us, some of us, we have insurance through the city. Some of us opted out and decided to get on the spouse's plan, if it's better. And for a lot of guys, they have to just pick up insurance on their own, which is very costly. I mean, it's almost like working for free because the medical insurance is more expensive than gas. Of course, everybody know who has insurance.
Even with the Affordable Care Act?
I don't see what the part of affordable is in there. It's just expensive because it still is out of pocket.
That is terrible. Now let's talk about Highland Park, because I love Highland Park. I really do, because I started my teaching career here 100 years ago, and I work here now, basically.
Yes.
So let's talk about firefighting. Do you go on a lot of runs in Highland Park?
We average a lot of runs for a small department. Lately, it's been kind of slow, which is a good thing as far as business and homeowners, because in fact, when we're busy, it's not good news.
Right.
It's something on fire. But we do a lot of other things now within to try to help out in the community. We go to the schools and talk to the kids and try to encourage them to stay in school. Like you say, a lot of kids do say want to be firefighters. So they ask us. The first thing we tell them, stay in school to get education. Not only get a high school education, go beyond that, get college. Because nowadays, some departments require you have a college degree, and also your EMT or paramedic field, which is continuing school. So we just try to encourage them to stay in school and don't just look at high school as, okay, I'm done. Look at college and beyond.
So, Fred, did you train? You trained with what department?
I first started in 1991 with the city of Taylor.
God, you only look 22 years old. Oh, anyway, let's go on.
Yes, ma'am.
And
I started with the city of Taylor in 1991. Then I moved on to the Ford Motor Company, where I worked as a firefighter supervisor, the Wixom plant. The Wixom plant shut down. It was during that time I started applying for Highland Park.
Oh, wow.
Back in 07, 08. And then in 08, 2008, the city of Utica hired me.
Wow. And so you've just been with Highland Park 2 months?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Damien, do you think I want to get the firefighter on who had the cat?
He's just pulling in.
Yes. So I'm going to go to a quick break in just a moment. Just a quick break, everyone, because I want to tell you about this picture. Damien, you stay here and let's get the firefighter who had the kitten.
But I'm a fireman. My job is to put out fires. I want to be where the fires are to be put out.
You're not supposed to say it, but what I like most about being a firefighter is, you know, the risk and the adrenaline with it. That'll never pass any kind of psych board if you take it, but here it seems to work.
Let's talk about Highland Park, Michigan. 27% unemployment, more than 40% of the population is living below the poverty line.
We've got stats about police and fire being cut. We've got stats about public safety not being invested in.
Could gangs be responsible for the recent rash of intentionally set fires in Highland Park? According to investigators and Homeland Security, the answer is yes. And if you have any information on who could be responsible for these arsons, please call Highland Park Police or the fire department, because it could only be a matter of time before someone is hurt or killed.
You know, they say we get fire bugs now and then where you get a bunch of fires, like a rash of fires for a couple days, and then it'll go away. It's probably one person doing it, you know, but I'm not an expert, so I really don't know. It's just my theory.
I don't know why people let a lot of houses on fire around here, honestly, but I know if I lived in the city, my investment was in my home, and there was a house filled with diaper shit next door. When I had a chance, I'd burn it to the ground.
Highland Park is, I believe it's, don't quote me on the number, the square miles, it's like 2.8 square miles, something like that. It's small. We're completely landlocked by Detroit. So all our borders all the way around is the city of Detroit. I mean, there's a lot of history here. This was, from my understanding, was one of the richest places in the country at one time.
Obviously, Highland Park, back in its heyday, when Ford Motor Company over at Manchester and Woodward, you know, Ford had pay our workers $5 wages, and everybody came to Highland Park. Everybody wanted to work. Everybody wanted, you know, you had big people from Ford living in Highland Park. You had CEOs, people on top, you know. But unfortunately, riots and just the bad stuff came in, you know, and then obviously people scatter. When people scatter, vacant homes, the drugs, the violence, it's just an ongoing battle.
The fire department in Highland Park's a lot different set up than most fire departments.
Be ready. Wow. That was a part of a documentary. What documentary was that?
Oh, I can't remember. We've been doing so many things lately. It's hard to
Oh, Superstars.
But I think it's on YouTube. I'm not sure.
Okay, Peter.
Yes.
This is Peter, everyone. He's a firefighter also. And I was struck. I put his picture on my Facebook page because he saved a cat from a fire. And devastating fire, and he had this cat in his hand. I was really taken with it. But Peter, how long have you been with the department?
I've been with the department for 11 years almost.
Oh, you only look 18. You all are some young look for the stress. You all look good for the wear. Now, tell me this. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Warren.
Warren, and you've been with the department at their old station too.
Yeah, I originally started there, and then we moved into the warehouse, and now we live over on Gerald, back at Gerald.
Yes, Gerald used to be a nice little area a long time ago because I taught in Highland Park.
Oh, okay.
And at the high school from 71 to 88, and then went to Southfield. But anyway, Peter, I hear you were almost killed in a fire. Can you tell me what happened?
It was like 5 years ago. We got called out for a dwelling fire at over on Monterey, and it was about 2:30 or 2:10 in the morning. We went and looked for. We got called out for people possibly trapped. Went and did a search. When we pulled up, there was 3 houses going. So I searched one of the houses. When I went in for the search to look for people, there was nobody in it. So when I went back inside to extinguish the fire, it just it got caught in a flashover. And
what's a flashover?
It's when the smoke from a fire is a gas that will ignite at 1400 degrees. And that's also
turns to a big fireball.
Yeah, it's also what our gear is prorated for. So at that point, everything, including our fire gear, ignites in the flames. And so when it ignited, I ignited, and I walked around for probably close to 2, 3, maybe even 5 minutes, trying to find my way out. And with the grace of God, He found my way out for me.
Oh wow! And didn't that seem like an eternity?
Oh yeah, it seemed like it was like an hour, but it was only like almost 5 minutes. None
of your fellow firefighters came in to.
Well, at that point we didn't have radios, so they weren't really aware that we were that I was trapped. I also had one of my coworkers with me, but he had the hose, and we were separated, so he was able to extinguish himself, and he didn't know where I was at. He thought I left the house, so he kind of, but I was still trapped inside.
So what were your injuries?
I had 60% of my body was third-degree burns.
Oh my goodness!
It was horrible. I mean, I remember when he was in the burn unit, Detroit Receiving. It took me a while to go see him because I was too emotional. I wasn't there for the fire, and I kind of, you always say what you would have did if you'd have been there, but that's what ifs. So the day I did go to the hospital to go see him, and I saw him and with all the bandages on his body. Soon as I looked at him, I instantly cried, and it's funny because he yelled at me like, "What took you so long getting here?" but it was like you could see he was in pain. He had to have skin grafts over majority of his body, and it's just something that you never wish on anybody, not even your own enemy. That something that he had to go through.
So how long have you been? I mean, when did you know that you wanted to be a firefighter?
When I was in high school, I wanted to be a basketball player or a fireman because kids listen to both of those two people. So I wanted to be able to help kids when they get older.
So do you mentor kids?
Oh, yeah. I work at a barber school here in Highland Park on my off days. I'm a basketball coach, and I also do partial counseling with them.
Oh, God, you're so good. Oh, gosh. Well, Damien, how do you all like the new fire station?
We love it. The warehouse was just a warehouse. It was a dungeon. I mean, it was horrible for most of us. It was no clean air, no clean vents. People from other departments coming out of the fire station, they love it. I mean, they love it. It's clean. It's healthy for our lungs. And, we all love it.
So who does the cooking?
Who was working that day?
Yeah, I cooked this morning.
This morning breakfast.
Oh, how was that?
That was good.
I didn't eat.
I ate.
So tell me something. I always equate firefighters with being good cooks. Are most of you good cooks?
Depends. We'll
cook?
say 50-50.
Yeah, definitely 50-50 on that one.
You learned to cook. Honestly, I had to kind of change the mood because when you were telling me about Peter, I kind of choked up a bit because I can't imagine And I don't have the courage. I'll admit I don't have the courage to do what you all do. And I just pay homage to firefighters because you're there to save lives. And can you give our audience, well, I know one of the things, like my mother's a senior, she's 94, and she has all these throw rugs on the floor, rugs on top of rugs. You know how older people do. And yesterday I was telling her, you got to get these rugs up. I'm not getting anything up. Tell them why the seniors should take up the rugs.
Well, our biggest things with seniors and people is like as they get older, they seem to keep a lot of things they don't necessarily need and becomes a cluster. And when we do walkthroughs of these senior citizens, we do them a lot, just game plan, just in case anything happens that we could be able to respond properly. We see that a lot of them get clustered. They don't check their smoke detectors a lot. The main thing I noticed with the senior citizens is that a lot of them fall asleep cooking, which is
oh wow,
yeah, a lot of them fall asleep cooking, and and that's real scary because when you stay in the senior citizen building, you're not only affecting yourself, you're affecting your whole tenants,
other residents.
Exactly.
But the main reason why you want to keep your apartments cleaner or houses, because you have to imagine when you get a fire, when we get fires, we've never been to your house, right. So to come to my house and have to come try to find me in the middle of the dark is really difficult. Right. So when you add a whole bunch of obstacles in the way, when we've never been to your house, it makes it even more difficult.
It's cluttered.
So if you're trapped inside and you have a whole bunch of stuff inside, we have to fight through all that in the pitch dark, which we've never even been in your house, but now we got to fight through it all to try to find you.
What about the bars on the windows?
I call those fireman killers, because
fireman killers.
Yeah, I mean, they're to prevent people from getting out and getting in. I mean, that's what it is.
Firefighters like having easy access because we might go through a door, but in a situation like Peter, he might have to go through a window or something like that. And we have to go through a window to rescue ourselves, and the windows are barred up. We're trapped as well. I mean, they're a good thing as far as keeping burglars out, but like you say, it's it also keeps you in case of a fire.
Yeah.
Now, do you all have a rescue vehicle too?
No. Nope.
So if somebody has to be rescued from a house and it's not necessarily a fire.
Well, we have a lot of equipment on the trucks that we do have. So we pretty much keep up with training. We go to training on a regular basis. Different departments. We do a lot of training amongst ourselves. We'll look on YouTube and see update training. So we constantly train. And this man right here, he took them on training last week and had to do some things I haven't seen us do in a long period. So everybody in our department, we stick to training because we just hired 9 new people. So we try to make sure that
wow.
Yeah, we try to make sure that everybody's up to par.
So tell me, since you've had this publicity and notoriety, you've had people from around the world come and check you all out. What are they thinking, and what is their motivation for coming?
You guys are sweet.
Huh?
That's what they say. You guys are sweet. So that's why they come.
Why are you guys so sweet? Because I have friends at Engine 40 in Detroit. They think they're the sweetest.
Oh, because we fight fire with 7 guys.
Exactly.
That's all you get. No matter the size of the building, it's 7 guys coming at you.
I don't knock Detroit. Detroit, they get a lot of fights.
Oh, yeah.
They work hard. They work
very hard.
But they would tell you the difference between them and us is that they'll send 20 guys to a house fire. We send 7 with 5 going in, and even Detroit guys admire that because they like you guys do with 7 firefighters what we do with the whole box, was considered 3 engines, a ladder, and a squad.
Well, have you gotten any donations from these appearances or?
Yes, we have plenty of donations, especially this last winter. Some company, I can't remember the name of it. It was a club.
It was like a yacht club or something like that they gave us. They brought a whole bunch of Christmas gifts. They brought us a Christmas tree and stuff like that.
And they asked each individual fire what they wanted. On person, they said nothing fire related what you wanted. And me, I'm a cigar smoker. I asked for about cigars. They gave it to me. One guy had a newborn baby. They gave him some diapers and things like that. Oh. We have companies donated furniture to us. Like all the furniture, majority of the furniture in the fire station was donated by companies, or the firefighters took it out their own personal house or stuff and then put it inside there.
You all need anything else? Any other furniture or anything?
Not really. I mean, we're pretty set where we're at right now, but
think.
The only thing we'll be big on right now is workout equipment because we're trying to, like I say, firefighter's number one killer is not house fires, it's cardiac arrest. So we try to make sure we stay in shape by training, whether it be cardio training, weight training, whatever we can. So, you know, we're trying to set up our weight room.
Now, if some of you have some workout equipment that you don't use, like me, I'm promising myself I'm gonna ride that bike. but there are some people who have treadmills and everything. Here they go. You know, let's help them out because they're there to save your lives. And I have just totally become just shaken by this interview because, like I said, between police officers and firefighters, you all are the bravest people I know. And I notice you have Superman on your hand, a Superman symbol.
Yeah.
Which that was my first favorite hero. Then it was Mighty Mouse. But anyway, then it was Mighty Mouse. So where do you see, I'm going to ask you all kind of personal questions. Where do you see yourselves in 5 years?
Still working here.
Oh, yeah.
Still working.
Do you have a love for this city?
Yes. You know, like I left Detroit, and I was making way more money in Detroit. I had great benefit. I left Detroit to come here to be a firefighter. And it was actually a pay cut for me to leave Detroit and come here.
That's what
because,
I know.
Like I say, a lot of times, to get paid to do what you don't want to do, you're gonna be miserable. So why not? You know, you gotta learn how to live within your means. So I'd rather have to do what my passion drives me to do and learn to live within my means than to get paid for something I don't have the thrill of doing anymore.
You, Peter?
I spent half my life here, so I mean, I work 2 jobs in the city. So I mean, I always, as a fireman, you are on duty for 24 hours, so you have like a second family away from your other family. So I mean,
I do understand, and when you have a job like that, a job that doesn't pay a whole heck of a lot, but you're dedicated to it, and you're not you're worried about the money, but you're not. I think that you're happiest.
Yes, you are.
I think you're living a fuller life. I do personally because I taught 39 years and I loved it. And I was offered other jobs, but there was nothing like the kid.
Yeah, Dion said you was one of the best teachers he ever had.
Thank you. I love Dion. He was just.
Well, he touched on family thing. One thing, that's another thing I liked about the fire department, because I worked many other jobs, and firefighters are truly our family. We hang out together. We raise each other kids. We argue.
See, you were at the Lions the other day, watching the Lions work out.
And I took my coworker with me. I took one of my coworkers with me, you know, because that's how we do things. And right now, we bought this shirt last year, and I only one of my coworkers.
Breast cancer.
It was the initials, Danita Vaughn. It was only one of my coworkers' wives. She found out she had breast cancer, so we all went and bought shirts, pink shirts, in honor of her to show out. You know, that's how we do. But whenever somebody he had a benefit for when he got burnt, everybody showed up from different departments that showed up to show, because firefighters is one brotherhood, it's one family.
One brotherhood. Ladies and gentlemen, Highland Park firefighters. Can I have the other ones just come over here real quick and get behind me so that the audience can see them? Come on, quickly. I mean, I know you're listening to your walkie-talkie.
But we also want to thank you for having us out here and letting us tell our story, too.
I love firefighters. I love it, you know. And everyone, these are members. Kind of duck down. Make sure you're in the camera. Make sure you see yourself.
This is our newest member. He's 18 years old.
18?
Yes.
Oh, you do look 18. No, you look 12. So here they are. Kind of duck down a little bit. Well, he's going to put the camera up a little bit. And these are some of our lifesavers. Give them a standing ovation.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in just a moment with Tanita Bestseller Johnson.
Yeah, our department used to have 80 members, and we're down to 28. I think our chief said something a little while ago. It was like 85% arson. Most of my friends that are firemen in the suburbs, they go to a kitchen fire and it's a small fire. They get there, put it out. The person's house is fine. We pull up to a fully involved house with 2 other houses on fire. And we got to put it all out somehow, try to save these houses, try to save the houses next door to those houses. We do a lot of things kind of old schoolish because that's what we have is old school crap, junk equipment. The old station was so old, they tried fixing things and the city just didn't have money to put big repairs onto it. The roof was leaking really bad and it ended up getting condemned. So they scrambled around trying to find a place to put them, and this is what they ended up with. And it was supposed to be temporary. That was 8 years ago. My first 3 months here, I slept in a tent. Me and another guy that got a job together, we put tents up back there and just put little, mattresses on the floor and slept in there until we knew that we were going to stay here, because we didn't know if they were going to keep us, because we didn't know if we were going to make it.
When I came back from my first deployment in 2006 from Iraq, I showed up and the guys were back in this warehouse. I actually had to ask one of the cops in the area where it was. I saw the guys had little cubicle walls set up throughout this 40,000 square feet, not giving any of the guys much privacy. I just come from an area where they had very minimal structures there. I decided I want some privacy of my own, so I built a little 8x12 room. Guys started asking me to build them rooms. After that, a couple guys wanted bigger rooms, so they started adding on, doing their own thing on the outskirts of it.
We need somewhere to stay warm in the winter. It gets so cold in here. You can see your breath. The only place there's heat is usually up in the front where the trucks are to keep them warm. But other than that, if you're back here, you gotta have your heater on in your room, and same thing in the summer, it gets hot in here. A lot of our houses don't get knocked down, so we'll drive through the city sometimes and you'll pass one and be like, that was a good stop. Remember that one? Remember what happened there? Tell the story, everybody talks about it. Yeah, remember this happened? The roof fell in on us, or this happened, or, we see some of the craziest fires here. You tell people stories and they're like, no way, that didn't happen. And you're like, yeah, it did. You don't get an opportunity to go into a fire unless you're a fireman. This is the FireCam 1080. It attaches to the brim of my helmet. I can withstand heat from 900 degrees to 2,000 degrees, so I can take it into fires with me. So I started filming them and putting them up on YouTube, and mostly just my friends and some of my family would watch it. My mom refused to watch it for a while. She was like, I don't like that crap. I missed a lot of good fires for a couple months, seemed like, and we finally got a real good one. I did not think anybody would see that video. I thought it would be just the guys here, some of my friends, other people that have watched my videos, and that would be it. And I put it on YouTube, and it got so many hits. I never thought it would get put on the websites that it got put on, and then it was on the news. It was kind of crazy.